What is this inexplicable division between them and us? How did it happen? Who first decided that we were fundamentally different? We all have the same Father. How could those who originated from the same perfect source fly so far apart that there is no cord remaining to connect us? Or is it all a lie? Maybe we are the same and we just can't see the resemblance. If we just unscramble the letters, we'll find that it's not them and us, spelled THEM and US. It's THESUM, the sum, which of course means we're all together, just as he planned. Full of Words, Revisited by Lynette Gibson. I will answer my part. I too will declare my opinion, for I am full of words. Job chapter 32, verse 17. Them and us. Preview to an attack. The sky is tranquil, placid, blue and benign just above the horizon, with swollen cumulus pillows standing guard over its peace. These are unheeding of the silent, stealthy invasion of its cumulonimbus brothers, creeping like muddied paint spilled onto a still wet canvas. Not until it is too late do the guards react and shift. But unequipped to fight this power, they succumb, overtaken by darkness, swept away by fierce gusting winds, soon enveloped, and this once inviting heaven is immersed in foreboding twilight. And though we know it is yet day, we feel the night surround us in its mist and gloom, and we rush to find shelter from its outrage of rain. Privilege. What can you say to me, you who've never known pain, never been squeezed flat by desire, nor pressed dry by lack? You who've only known stars, what can you say to comfort my darkness? How long? When life bursts forth from the bodies of the innocent and runs unnoticed, staining the streets of the forgotten, there are those who cheer and others who ignore. Without malice, they died for your freedoms, but not their own. At every call, they answered with blood, and your gift to them was hate or blind indifference. Should we rise wearily again and call for another resistance without resistance, discovering with tired surprise that the first one was never over, just submerged in words? Enslaved freedom fighters, the feared who live afraid, accused victims, forgivers yet unforgiven, unloved lovers, hated without a cause. In your striving to make all good things lighter, you forgot the promised treasures of darkness. In us are the hidden riches, discovered first when we finally scraped off the masks and saw the real God, who found his lost sheep that were despised like him, rejected like him, misunderstood like him. What will you do when he says we are also chosen? What will you do when he says, arise? What will you do when the darker God won't wait for you to send your regrets? The two serpents. Two serpents dwelt in a darkened cave. An outer light glowed all around. There they were fed both truth and lies, and both by them were tightly bound. Though gripped at heart, their tails were loosed, which thrashed the walls and wrecked the cave, till one was crushed by falling rocks, whose carcass did the other save. The cave, now split, let light shine in, exposing all their tails had done, revealing much that once was hid, yet of two serpents was seen but one. The other lay beneath the dead, still darkened where no light could see, and dwells, still undisturbed, in hopes its tail might once more be set free. Solutions to a Problem, an answer to Langston Hughes' poem, dinner guest, me. Langston wrote, "To be a problem is not so bad in New York at 8. It's solutions that must, unfortunately, wait." And what solutions, politely and after dinner, did they decide for me, overlooking the dinner guest's desire to be free? What a stroke! A way to set them free and yet in prison still. Civil words written down will pacify their will. Then breach their streets, the gentleman agreed, by rivers of desire from deeper south, just enough to shut the revolution's open mouth. Reparations. Those who build empires on the bones of a people slaughtered to gain their land, decimated to control their piece of earth, destroyed to own what was not earned nor given, will one day turn and see what they now think is theirs taken. And those they have oppressed receive back from their own hand what they would never freely give. And they will watch as he who judges justly sighs at their wide-eyed surprise for being so unfairly treated. Gone too soon for Brandon and Reed. A baby dies before he's born, and I'm in pain, such pain. I sit here and the anger wells, the tears begin again. My anger becomes frightened words with none to speak them to. Who is it that should know my wrath, and who should pay, Lord? Who? A young man dies, not yet full grown, and there is none who can explain. We sit here and the raging swells with mourning that can't be contained. Our sadness becomes broken words. We know the one to speak them to. But who can compensate the loss? And who will pay, Lord? Who? Worship. Now I lay me down to worship. I put myself aside and look up where I can breathe and taste the breath of God. Now I lay me down in resting and lay my head on your chest and ask you, Abba, to hide me in your arms where I feel the rhythm of your heartbeat. Now I give me up to service by loving, by giving, by talking, by laughing, while eating or kissing or dancing or weeping. I breathe and I worship. I rest and I serve and I live. The altar. With all my heart I live my life and all its problems, passions, and pain. I give it over fully to you on an altar freely slain. All the deaths that daily face me, one by one, I lay me down to be buried, spirit baptized, then redeemed from barren ground. Some day, when all dying's over, I'll look no longer through a darkened glass. Questions answered, eyes unblinded. Face to face, I'll see you at last. Passion. Father's in pain. Tears are streaming. Spirit is grieving. Children are crying. Martyrs are pleading. Heaven is listening. Angels are waiting. Demons tremble because night is leaving. As mountains are moving and earth is shaken, life's upending. People are feeling and finally seeing. Stronger, stronger, powers releasing, truth is growing. Knees are folded, with hands together, eyes now lifted. So we plead our cause, bind the curse and loose the love. We can walk the viper's trail. We can tread the scorpion's hole. We will do it for a song, for a dance, and for a home. Make us a fire. We've passed through fire and not been burned. On a flaming spit been skewered and turned, and walked on hot coals for the lessons we've learned. Now, make us a fire. These years of trial have burnished us with tests that have taught and furnished us with steadfast faith. They've nourished us. Now, Lord, make us a fire. Make us a flame that's been lit by love, that ignites with sparks from you above, whether by blazing tongues or the touch of a dove. Please make us a fire. We await the torch that will burst from within, that will finish the purging of inward sin. Then thrust us out to the world. It is time to begin. Lord, now make us a fire. Invisible powers. All things are coming to a sharper point, and your sword is burnished and cut so fine that it seems a meek weapon to wield against the power of their thundering guns. But stand your ground. You've been given authority over all the enemy's power, and with that slight sword, you can cut them down, defeat them, and watch their scattered retreat. R 3:10, based on Revelation 3. This one who's holy, the one who's true, holds 7 spirits and 7 stars. He's challenging me and challenging you while gathering an army and waging a war. The faithful, true witness, the only Amen, who began creation's work of God, will also bring it all to an end when he extends his chastening rod. Some have a reputation of being alive, when in fact Christ says they are dead. Unperfected works must be revived. Starved and dying hearts must be fed. So if you won't watch and you won't pray, he'll come upon you as a thief, and you won't know the hour or the day. Just a few names will be granted relief. But you who persevere at his command, who are seen as weak with little light, will in your lack possess the land because you fought the better fight. He'll make them bow before your feet who turned his truth into a lie, and you will witness their defeat. His love precedes his battle cry. Be watchful then, and hold fast your crown. His overcomers know his true name. Take your stand, hold your ground, and don't get entangled in their game. The faithful will abide with him and never leave his temple mount, a pillar and a hand-cut gem with multitudes no one can count. He stands beside an open door that your enemies cannot breach or shut. If you have less, he offers more, along with the keys of David. But there are those whose faith is warm, whose wealth and riches blind their eyes. Believing they have been twice born, God's correction has been cast aside. He counsels them to buy his gold, refined and burnished bright with fire, hot with passion, not warm or cold, to take their spirit deeper, higher. Now he stands at their heart's door and knocks for them to let him in. He's giving them a chance once more to be his servant and his lifelong friend. To all he says to give an ear and listen now to the Spirit's voice before the trumpet sound is clear and you've lost both your chance and choice.